Okay, I keep hearing so much about Windsor and Newton Cotman series being low quality or grainy or opaque or any number of things, and I thought I'd pull mine out and go straight from the tube so you can see what I'm doing. This is a alizarin crimson, and all I'm going to do is some messy, straight out of the tube swatching. This is Arches 140-pound cold press paper and a silver black velvet brush. Just going to do a light wash and then we'll go in heavier. Alizarin crimson, such a beautiful color anyway. Keep in mind also when people are talking about grainy colors that some of them were meant to be. Do research on your set, whatever watercolors you have. Do some research and find out if the color is actually supposed to look what people call grainy. It's actually granulation in most cases. If you're using any kind of decent paint set, not something you paid $5 for on Amazon, although those are fun to play with. Typically, any graininess or granulation you see is supposed to be there. When I was very, very new, that shocked me. I thought there was something wrong with my paint. There wasn't. This is Prussian blue, and it's a beautiful, beautiful color. And I'm going to hold it up when it dries just a little bit so that you can see it closer. But I'm not being cute. I'm not trying to mix anything. I mean, I have, and you can. This is, need a little bit of water, cerulean blue hue, I believe. Yes. And all that means, if your paints say hue, that just means, let's just say cadmium hue. It's not actual cadmium red or whatever. It doesn't have cadmium in it. It's simulated. That does not mean it's bad. I'll do that in a minute. All right, let me hold these up and hopefully you can see. And obviously still wet. Actually, I want to do one more. Did I do that one? I did not. Let's do cadmium red real quick. Because I did alizarin crimson. That is a bright, bright color. It's beautiful. And by the way, my paper is dry, bone dry. That's really, really a pretty color. Okay, now what I want to do, and I wasn't going to do this because I don't have the exact colors, but I can come, trying to think, I have a cobalt blue from Daniel Smith. And no, it's not Prussian blue, and no, it's not cerulean blue. But I just want to added more water. Now, am I going to tell you there is absolutely no, I don't know what, oh, Daniel Smith has the black caps. Thank goodness. Started to think I didn't know what to do. I think I also have, I have an alizarin, well, we'll use quinacridone rose, which is not the same thing. This is quinacridone rose from Daniel Smith. And it can be overwhelming. As a matter of fact, you have to sometimes tone it down. It's really not a fair comparison when the colors are not exactly the same. And I am not doing this demonstration to say that a student series is as good as Daniel Smith. But what I do want you to know is especially if you're a beginner, the price point difference makes, I don't know that it's worth it if it would keep you from painting to have to spend as much as you would have to spend. I don't know that it's worth the difference. Now, I will tell you, I'm not a big fan of how the Prussian blue look. I mean, not the Prussian blue, the alizarin crimson looks. And I'm not sure if it's because I didn't put enough paint on it, or if it's just maybe this one, maybe alizarin crimson, you do need to go to a different brand. I'm going to do it again though, because now I'm curious. I know I've used it before. Let me add a little water. I'm going to say that I don't know that I love the alizarin crimson from the Cotman series. The rest of them are exactly what you would expect and exactly what they should be. But I'm going to say that I don't know that I would use that one. The other three though are beautiful. This is a granulating color, I believe, so don't panic over that. But let me hold this up. The alizarin crimson does look better wet, but you can see it dried a little pale, I guess. But the other ones are beautiful. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Windsor Newton Cotman series. And again, you can get so much more paint and practice so much more, and then one by one add new paints and try new things. You should. I have so many different types. I still play with my Reeves. This is a brand that I wish I knew what it was. I thought I bought something called Turner, and I'm gonna put this, because if any of you know what it is, please tell me. That's what it looks like. And it's got, I guess, Chinese writing all over it. And this stuff is fantastic. I mean, I absolutely love it. It was so, so cheap on Amazon. So I have Reeves, I have Windsor Newton Cotman, I have whatever this crazy stuff is. 1, 2, 3. I think I have, oh, and I have Jackson's. I have a couple of Jackson's colors that I've just gotten and I'm just now playing around with. But look at this. I think this is ultramarine. Look at this. And it is cheap paint, really cheap paint. And it's gorgeous. And I have not found any of these to be remotely chalky, by the way. So if any of you know what this is, it just says ultramarine and then a bunch of writing I can't read, artist watercolor, made in Japan, and that is all that I can read on it. But it's fantastic. If I could figure out what it is, I'd buy all of them. So I hope this helps. Again, I am not saying that Daniel Smith does not have the reputation it has, but I would like you to look at this. Look at how that Quinn Rose dried. It's not significantly different than the way that the Cotman dried. It's a little more vibrant, but it's because this is Quinn Rose and this is alizarin crimson. They're not the same color. So keep that in mind. Don't let anyone tell you that particularly such a reputable brand is not any good. And by the way, none of these are chalky. So hope this helps.